Yeah, so we got another video biome. Hoog, and look at this. Ooh, my stomach's growling. I gotta get some food in me after this, but I used to live and study in Amsterdam from '08 to '09 and lived around the LJ, I think, or IJ, LJ, I don't know, where there used to be a student dormitory complex for international students. I just remember that Amsterdam would be relatively peaceful until tourist season, and then all the tourists would wreck everything with their puking and partying. It was quite a shock because I was really naive and didn't know the kind of reputation that Amsterdam had until I moved there. If you don't know, we are watching today why Amsterdam is building a new red light district. I'm uncultured, but red light districts have to do with like some cyberpunk level things, right? Of just everything nefarious and debaucherous going down there, right? I don't know. Hoog, shout out to Hoog if you want me to take down my video. Let's go. Like this seems like it's either going to be a step up or on the same level as the curl public peeing to pods going in the ground video. Again, leave me recommendations down below to check out. Without further ado, let's get into this video. Oh man, these videos, dude.
This is the design of Amsterdam's new erotic center. Commissioned by the city government in 2020, it's a concept for a 5,000 square meter high-rise with hotel rooms, offices, bars, entertainment facilities, a store, and a restaurant. When it's finished, it will be one of Europe's largest and most advanced brothels.
Wow, okay, yeah, so it is nefarious and debaucherous things. It's just right here, it's gonna be a high. Okay, so if his Blender mapping, which sick to me, is like a kind of not complete to like, if it is Amsterdam, like he got pretty damn close, that is beautiful. But if this is, okay, so let me just say that rather than being confusing. If this is the model like of Amsterdam and this is their like Blender build for it, it's going, what is it meant to be a little bit taller than the other buildings so you know where to get some action? Like what?
And as interesting
is it gonna have LED red lights?
Design of the locations that it's being considered for. Locations on the outskirts of the city.
Okay, on the outskirts.
So why did Amsterdam's government commission the design of this new building?
Dude.
Why at locations far from its historic red lit center?
Makes sense.
Why are
it's far from its original red lit center? That makes sense. Put the debauchery on the outskirts.
So angry.
On the outer city.
Back in 2009.
Do a reverse of certain areas in America where it's like the inner city's a little bit scary. At come nighttime, it's like Gotham, but instead keep the inner city safe and keep the outer city the part you want to stay. That would honestly be. Oh, guys, think about that for a second. Hold on, I want to bring that to the table. Imagine that, and there's probably places like this on the outer city of areas. It's nicer areas, more suburbs, and like nice people, not any nefarious things really going on. Maybe your crime every once in a while in certain towns, but then in the inner city is where it's denser, maybe a lot of characters for people, but then like the crime is high there. That's how it is, right? I'm not just discovering this out of nowhere. That's how it is, right? But my thing is Amsterdam is doing the reverse that. Try to keep the inner parts. Like, right? In America, that's mostly places, right? I don't know, man. I don't research these things on a daily basis. It's not my niche, but like you usually like have, okay, I'm staying on this too long, but basically they're trying to put the red light center on the outskirts. So it's like they're trying to keep this inner city with the cool and nice culture and keep it pretty peaceful, but then make the outskirts bad. So it's like you're trying to get into the city because the outside, you know, like in apocalyptic movies where you don't want to be in the city and you want to get out. You kind of see my point? Okay, maybe I'm making, I don't know.
A Labour politician waited. The city was voting on a plan he had spearheaded, a plan called Project 1012. Named after the zip code of the city's most notorious red light district, it was designed to clean it up. Low-quality buildings, such as window brothels and coffee shops, had to go. But instead of making new regulations, the lawmaker was praised for a unique approach. His solution was spatial: buy up buildings associated with crime and push crime away. The city government was convinced, and his plan...
Yeah, see, like, okay, I'm not going to say this for all of New York. I feel like they said New York's getting better, it's being gentrified. Yikes. But, like, you would usually find crime in certain parts of cities, the inner, like, cities, right? And it feels like they're trying to purify the inner core of the city, and then, like, it's the outward that's going to be bad. So you're going to drive through all the bad to get to the good? That's some scary shiz, kind of.
Little did they all know, it would soon collapse.
Oof.
Over the course of more than a decade, it would lead to the closure of more than 100 individual window brothels, along with tens of individual coffee shops. However, when attempts were made to measure the impact of Project 1012, not much could be found. It had a marginal impact on crime, and today the center's image as an adult theme park with shady edges still remains strong. But if there's one thing his plan did do, was that it created a rift among hundreds of sex workers and the city government of Amsterdam. One that persists even as the newest mayor picks up the mantle again and tries to change the center even more. In 2020, the city government banned organized tours of the red light district. In May of 2023, bans on cannabis within the district entirely. There's also been mandated...
These animations are sick, man. Like, Hoog, I just hope you know your work is appreciated. This is cool, having like one of these boards that connect, string all the timeline of events and news article headlines, and
bar closures, bans on the sale and display of alcohol,
that's sick.
And even ad campaigns targeted towards young to middle-aged British men.
Wow.
She and the executive body have even floated the idea of banning international tourists from buying marijuana in the city entirely. She's also brought up the idea of introducing entrance gates to the red light district.
Honestly, people are just literally entrance gates. Oh my gosh, Attack on Titan walls. Low-key, Amsterdam looks like it's set up like Attack on Titan a little bit. But like, for that last part, wouldn't they just buy it from Amsterdam locals? They'd be like, hey, can you guys, give me some of that? It's mostly legal, but I don't condone.
Would create the first physically regulated neighborhood in a major European city. Not even Venice does that.
Wow.
But her most controversial suggestions started soon after her nomination in 2019, when she brought attention towards changing the rooms in the red light district again.
Is this her design? Oh, it's 12. It's time to upload. Let me pause. Always got to find. Always got to stay on schedule.
In Amsterdam, there are actually 3 separate red light districts. The most well-known is in the center, called De Walle, which has 249 rooms. But the other 2, and much less well-known, are the Singelgebied and the Roostelkade, which have 63 and 40 rooms, respectively. In 2019, Femke Halsema, the newest mayor of Amsterdam, presented 4 scenarios for the future of De Walle. 3 of those scenarios targeted each of these districts in order to reduce over-tourism. Her first scenario was to change window prostitution permanently. Amsterdam closes all the curtains in the Walle and Singel.
What? Okay,
the rooms stay up.
What is window prostitution? Like, you can like literally just go by and see this stuff happening. It's like by eye. You just walk down the street and it's like, oh, I'm like her in there. Let me just go in. Like, what is window? Like, what? You're like window shopping? Like, that's exactly where I'm going with my mind.
Open.
Accidentally
if a lot of the attraction to the red light district is simply to be able to walk around and look, take away what people look at, and you not only reduce potential tourists, but push the tourists that do come to other parts of the city. With increased digitization, sex workers can increasingly rely on getting clients via their phones rather than off the streets. The assumption is that this would just speed up an inevitable transformation from physical windows to digital ones. In her second
They're gonna get crafty digital windows.
Scenario, Amsterdam would see the most radical change. All the rooms in De Walle and Singel are removed and shifted to other parts of the city. The number of rooms does not change like it did in Project 1012, but their locations do. However, because closing all the rooms in De Walle is highly unrealistic, the city government is going forward with Halsema's third and most realistic scenario. Instead of all, a chunk of the rooms in the Valle and Singel are moved. Although it's more realistic, the city government has not made it clear how large that chunk will actually be.
I love the animation.
Different from Project 1012, Halsema has made the commitment that when rooms get removed, they have to come someplace new.
So it's
At
going
the
to be these
start, the
buildings?
government considered two building types, a single-unit high-rise, and the second, a cluster of different multifunction buildings. They also commissioned research into building on a floating pavilion.
The clusters of buildings would fit within the rest of the architecture nicely. I say they should go with something like that over having a high rise. Yeah, because I feel like that's just, I don't know, that feels like dystopian-ish. You're gonna have floors of, I don't know, this seems cooler because then it's they're marked in locations. And I'm sorry, I know this model he has here looks like a church or something like that, so that just makes it even funnier. You know, after you're done getting your prayers in, come to the red light district. I like this more, though.
The design is meant to anticipate for about 100 individual rooms for sex workers and also other entertainment facilities.
Okay, so someone let me know down in the comments. Is it common or something like that? It's like sex work is just a part of the thing over there or something like that. It's just it's not frowned upon. It's promoted. I'm confused. I don't know anything about Amsterdam.
Wants to model
I'm really curious why my roommate wants to go to this place now.
Pasha when it comes to size. Pasha is the world's largest brothel. However, it's not a particularly welcoming or friendly-looking building.
You're probably thinking, maybe my roommate's a guy, since this is the red light district video. No, it's a girl.
So on the other hand, they also want to model the more modern, less sketchy design of Antwerp's largest brothel, Villa Tinto. But these brothels aside, there's a few things that make Amsterdam's new erotic center
I don't know about that
completely
one.
different. The mayor of Amsterdam knows that a brothel is controversial. This is why she hopes Amsterdam can make one with class and distinction. By mixing hotel rooms with painting courses, art exhibitions, and a debate center, the hope is that they can avoid designing an isolated sex palace.
Oh, okay.
For an actual physical model, they commissioned Moog, a Dutch architecture studio, to come up with a design. The architects Gianni Cito and Jurgen ten Hoeve designed a concept that attempts to convert the linear streets of the red light district into a circular form. Inspired by Frank Lloyd Wright's Guggenheim, Cito won an architecture prize for making a design that repurposed two sugar silos into a cultural center with internal circular walkways. Jurgen ten Hoeve, the other architect, was nominated for the same prize in 2018
Architects are
for
cool.
his design of
I thought I would be
of
one.
buildings modeled after a monastery. It was a network of buildings superimposed in Rotterdam that attempts to give an option for pedestrians to leave the busyness of the city. Together, both architects produce an interesting combination. You get a building that kind of looks like a parking garage with a continuous walkway that allows you to walk in the building as you would in the Valle, but circularly as opposed to linearly. Also, instead of a floor of the same individual homogeneous hotel rooms, it also attempts to recreate the network of the buildings on the street on each individual floor as well. To choose a location for the building, the city government considered 8 regions, and as of today, they've narrowed it down to 2 main locations, NDSM in Noord and around the Rij in Zuid. In Noord, Amsterdam would have to deviate somewhat.
He's spitting at pronouncing these names. I'm not I don't know what they speak in Amsterdam, but can an Amsterdam ambassador come through on the channel and say if he's spitting these right? Because it sounds like he's moving smooth with the pronunciation. But yeah.
From the original Moog design and construct a floating brothel.
Oh.
It's likely that it'll be a ponton of around 100 by 20 meters with 2,000 square meters of space for 5 total floors.
Isn't it going to get a little bit rocky in there?
One basement.
I'm not sure about that one.
And with the remainder holding the rooms.
Imagine being on the roof and then ooh, off into the water like the drunk dudes.
Other facilities. The government also considered repurposing a cruise ship since it would already be readily equipped with rooms, bars, theaters, and attractions like casinos. However, a cruise ship has a large number of constraints, making it an unlikely option.
NDSM's
that preferred location comes from the fact that it's a diverse, culturally rich neighborhood. It has plenty of room for additional buildings, such as for any needed security or additional parking, but it also hosts one of the largest flea markets in Europe, has multiple popular restaurants and cultural attractions, and it also has a high density of mixed residential use areas.
Then they should just slap the building over there.
NDSM has a weakness. Its most immediate connection is via ferry. Not only is that slower than other forms of public transport, but a ferry can only withstand so many more people. Amsterdam has considered building bridges to north, but it's unclear how long that would take or if they'll ever be built at all. So NDSM's main fault
is it honestly sounds like NDSM, like you're either gonna have to go around this way or go around this way, but a bridge to it, this sounds like one of the most solid places to put it. I can see why they put this as one of the spots.
Reachability. But NDSM's biggest benefit is that it's considerably hipper than the other section of the city that's under consideration.
Let's hear about this other side
is
now.
The poshest and most entitled area of Amsterdam and offers two plots. The Groene Zoom, a 2,000 square meter triangular piece of land, and then a second, likely the preferred option, a 21,500 square meter plot of land owned by the city government directly. Unlike the singular ferry connection in Noord, Zuid has access to two metro connections.
Did he just grab like Google Maps, like little 3D projection and throw it in Blender? Is that possible? Or did he handle all this? Because that's kind of crazy.
One that goes from north to south, giving potential clients from the center immediate access, and it also has a metro going from east to west.
That's kind of what it looks like.
Granting direct access to Amsterdam's business district. What it loses in being a hip and chill place to be, it gains in accessibility. It also has ample parking space. However, what both Noord and Zuid still have in common is that there are NIMBYs. Homeowners have voiced concerns about noise, criminality, and impact on children in the area. Some sex
what I was thinking about too.
Workers have also voiced concerns about their own safety. According to the city government, the building will likely be a safer option than the status quo. Instead of sparse, separated buildings in an overcrowded neighborhood, a single building would have a centralized security system.
That is true.
Oversight over who.
That is actually true. I would think, because you know when you go like in sketchy areas and stuff like that, I would think this would be a lot safer depending on how security is handled, because that could also feels like it could become a little bit dystopian. But if it's in this posh like neighborhood, I would say like that would be safe. And then like it, depending on the security and how it runs, and if it's like professionally done, I wouldn't really see a high crime rate there, depending like, you know, unless I want to run the scenarios, but I don't really want to say them. But you know what I'm talking about? Kind of like the whole, you get, what is it like? You know, maybe like stuff just starts coming through. I don't know how Amsterdam's society is or like everything over there. So I can't really say for sure that you would have like things being peddled in these types of buildings and out of them, or what kind of type of business would be like going through it. And as for kids, I mean, depending on how it's done, right? Like the plot of land on the other side looked like it had a lot of green space. So maybe it could be concealed as a building, or again, that would be like people talking about it if they're worrying about the kids, right? I guess if people were going in for work, the kids would see like the people going in for work, and that would be a thing. I don't know. I feel like the buildings being spread out like on a street, that actually how they're making Amsterdam sound actually being spread. That's why I like the model that was back here, like 3 buildings, wherever it was, right here in the video, where it's the 3 buildings like kind of in a triangular location to them, because you know what it does is if there's going to be any crime or anything, it has to go through everyone. So then it's less likely to have crime happen because you're in front of so many eyes. So if there's a singular building and security isn't actually up to par, and the government just places this there, you know, it gets going for the first month or whatever, it's solid, but then it starts just going downhill because there's like not funding into it, or security doesn't really care, and it starts becoming loose. Well, that's when then you have your problem. So you know, I could see how the buildings that I like, that first plan right there, or the buildings mixed in the streets with coffee shops and stuff would actually be better, because you're mixing in the people that actually want to go consume that sort of content with everyone else who's not. So it's like pretty hard to get criminal activity, but like this would be like centralizing the criminal activity to an area. But I can just see it on both sides. I don't know. It's a cool building, but maybe they should just keep it more in a. Now I'm seeing. At first, I thought slapping this building in the center of a city would be weird, but now pushing it to the outskirts sounds pretty bad. And I think I was already along the lines of that. I think pushing this, like putting all the other curricular activities, curricular. Remember when we would hear that in school? Dude, I got some in my eye things still from yesterday. I think the little extracurricular activities, if they put them on the outside of the city, it would be like almost like dangerous to go through. Like you would start corrupting certain neighborhoods if any stuff was to come. And I think if this building was placed in the center of the city, that would be less likely to do. But that all depends, I guess.
Enters and who leaves. The erotic center does what Project 1012 couldn't. It gets rid of rooms in the center, but without pushing sex workers into an unregulated underground. Also, unlike the Volle, which mixes tourists with potential clients, the new building is meant to attract primarily the clients. Some sex workers have complained that over-tourism has reduced their incomes because large crowds make actual potential clients too self-conscious to consume.
Oh, according to that's what I'm saying. But damn, you can even see it from the perspective that having that would reduce criminals or anyone that maybe would do harm, and would bring like the people who just don't give a shit, that are like not that self-conscious. But it would, you know, which again, not everyone who's self-conscious and doesn't want to be seen going to these places are bad or anything like that, you know, to each their own with this, you know, supporting this business and stuff. But yeah, it's like everything is literally a double-edged sword, because that side would mark out a lot of criminals. But then now if you have primarily clientele, you don't know what and who you're going to really get.
City government, a well-connected but more isolated building, would reduce the attraction of the red light district for tourists, attract more clients than in the center, increasing sex workers' incomes, but it would also be quieter. Tourists are loud, but clients are the type of people who want to be private. Have as little attention drawn to them as possible. However, this is also where some more difficult problems emerge.
Yeah, if it goes to the shiftier things though, because the people who are trying to be quiet, sometimes they're shiftier.
The Volle, with all of its issues, still has a unique advantage. It has a lot of eyes on the street.
This is what I'm saying.
It may make some clients too self-conscious to consume, it may do the same for more serious criminals. And this is where you get the NIMBYs. Homeowners would like a building that's as invisible as possible. This is why the mayor has also promised a closed, isolated building that brings very little attention.
Trees,
However, the more isolated and quiet the area, the more concerns about sex workers' safety. Also, the city already has problems with the number of police.
Care about the girls. Come on. Care about the sweet ladies, bro. Cannot have this going down.
Since the Volle isn't entirely removed, by building an erotic center, you end up producing a fourth red light district, which potentially spreads an already thin police force even thinner.
Oh, they have a
so
thin
the mayor
police
has had
force?
Problems. She's faced considerable backlash at town halls, and she's had to postpone making decisions on the erotic center. However,
I think y'all need to bolster your defenses when it comes to police force. Maybe add some incentives, get the right training. Oh, I gotta pick that up. Then when it comes to oh man, I don't know.
Since 2021,
I got some ideas.
Has had a majority in the government. People can postpone and argue all they want, but all three parties, GroenLinks, D66, and PvdA, have agreed. Be it an isolated building, cruise ship floating pavilion,
something needs to be done.
Out. Some rooms in the Volle must be removed, and instead they must come somewhere new. However, a new erotic center may not even be Amsterdam's most controversial plan. The city government has also proposed replacing its historic famous public urinals with an advanced AI-powered urinal that comes out of...
It's AI-powered, right? Dude, I gotta come back to this now and say this. Dude, what if the AI decides you're gonna get trapped in there?
Ground. The story is fascinating, and I've made an entirely different video on it that you can watch right now on Nebula.
That video was sick.
I create our own streaming service where I'm posting the genius design of Dutch public urinals early, as well as my future videos.
Wow.
Once you're there, you can also check out my video on Corbusier's plan for a gigantic highway skyscraper. And you can watch other exclusive videos made by channels like Neo, Mustard, City Beautiful, and countless others. Nebula is great, and I really cannot stress that enough. It not only gives me the freedom to spend excessive amounts of time in a basement making videos for strangers on the internet, but it also provides great videos that you can watch nowhere else, and also classes, so that you too can also learn how to make videos in your basement, like I do, on Dutch public urinals.
He's trying to sell that.
Using the link below, you can support me directly and get both Nebula and Nebula classes for a 40% off annual plan, which is as little as $2.50 a month.
He's trying to take that home that he's creating videos in his basement to strangers on the internet. Oh my gosh. Great video, dude. Another great banger. Another banga. Y'all know that song? Baby, calm down. I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it from TikTok, thank God. I heard it on Instagram. But all right, let's see the comments. I've been to Amsterdam twice. I'll show the comments. And its charm is how beautiful the city is, how easy it is to wander around by walking or riding a bike while going out at night. The walks or bike rides from bar to bar are a breath of fresh air for those who are used to just staying in a bar all night. If the city centralizes the nightlife, it would lose the charm of having the entire city center be like one huge party. And that's what makes the city such a beautiful place. Yeah. Can we all just step back and appreciate the quality? Is that the QA of this masterpiece video? The levels of details and carefully animated scenes that are eye-wateringly cinematic. This guy is shockingly underrated. Hopefully he tracks as many viewers as the RLD. Yeah, dude, these visuals are sick. Literally, I just can't talk anymore about them, or I would just be literally sucking this man off. Pause. In game, nothing weird, YouTube. But seriously, like, you know, I don't want to hype him too much, but this is a tremendous amount of work, and look at the result. 4 mil, good, deserves it all. The thing is too, is there's some people that make this quality and their channel doesn't get seen. So like, I commend people for going this ham with their videos, because dude, sometimes that couldn't be me, dude. Like, I like editing more than animation editing, but I have that fear sometimes that, ooh, what is this? Why millennials hate Gen Z at work? Oh my gosh, I want to watch that next. Dude, but send me videos, you guys. Like, you know, I get these videos sent and sometimes I find them. So send more. You know, I do got an overwhelming list, but a lot of the videos are old by now, so I'm not covering them. But I want to get new recommendations in here. I got a long list, but I took a break for a while. But yeah, I really love the style of this video. It's so informational and fun to watch. As a Dutchie who doesn't live in Amsterdam, I had no idea they were even thinking about this. Yeah, I feel like they're missing a massive opportunity to making it a giant phallus. Yeah. Dude, it's crazy, bro. What is going on in Amsterdam, bro? Amsterdam sounds like, I don't even know, man. I see something about hive cities over here. Jeez. All right, man. I'll see you on the next one. Much love and Moonlight. I'm over here shaking my leg. Hopefully the camera wasn't like shaking like that. See y'all in the next one. Peace.